we will get straight into it, ladies and gents. And there is only one place to start, isn't there, really? Unless you have been living under a rock. Jeremie Frimpong stories in the last 48 hours or more have exploded, haven't they? We've had numerous journalists on the continent. We've even had Lewis Steele mention him today. We've had Paul Joyce mention him in previous names and previous days. Andy Hunter, cracks. We had about 8,000 people mention Jeremie Frimpong. And we've got to revisit him just because of this, Bart. And people talk about Frimpong as almost a Marmite signing, but we've really got to try and delve into this as to it's not guaranteed yet. We know there's no sort of smoke coming out the Pope's chimney, but it seems the set name. What are we digging with on Jeremie Frimpong?
I think this is definitely a case of another layer of analysis that the clubs have, right? Because we must have done it, what, 3 times on here? 3 times last summer, in the winter, the others. And look, no question that this guy will add something to the team, right? No question about that. But for me, it'll be, he carries the ball. We've established that he carries it very well. 98th percentile for carrying. He takes people on. He has touches in the penalty box in 99th percentile, which basically says there's only 1% of players in Europe in the last year that, for a fullback, that have more touches than him in the penalty box, which, is quite something when you consider he's a fullback. Progressive passes received in the 99th percentile. So again, he's that high up the pitch that his other teammates are finding him progressively, which is where we move the ball more than 20% or 20 yards close to the goal, right? So, yeah, I think clearly he is like Robbo in his heyday, I would suggest, attacking-wise, and if you look at his output, 93rd percentile for penalty goals, again, for a fullback, right? 98 for non-penalty goals, shot creating action 78. They're all in the 90s bar review, right? Assists at 89th percentile. I mean, that's still an outstanding stat. It's just powers in comparison when the rest of the attacking metrics are in the 90s, right? But, I think for those of us who, and I've heard people talking, not yourself, but others saying, I think we're going to go back to having a very robust, typical traditional fullbacks that are great defending first and then might offer us something in attack. I think you guys might be slightly disappointed unless there is something hidden away in the depths of other analysis or through slots coaching, he can get something out of him, because defensively, they're all in the red. Right, 5th for tackles, which I'm not that. I've always said in the show, a tackle is a reactive defensive metric, not a reactive. So that's okay with me. But interceptions 3, blocks 37th percentile. They're just not. That's not what we ideally ask our fullbacks to do, which is be reactive, nip in front, get the ball, and also block across when it doesn't come at you. So an area is 1. 13th percentile. So they have to take part in being part of a defensive unit for defending. You'll see that Robbo has normally have front post, or front zone, if you like. And the other fullback will be positioned in and around those areas. So this would mean we'd have to rejig that slightly because he's not that great. And if you compare him with Connor, who is the current incumbent, which people are talking about up or down, depends on what viewpoint you have. Some will say that he should be the right back. Some have got concerns, which the weekend probably showed you, where he did about 3/4 of the things right, but the thing that actually mattered, we conceded off, he didn't block across. So, there's things, but it's very hard to judge a player when there's no jeopardy, right? So, but given all of that, Connor actually outperforms Frimpong in the passing side of it, because he's and that is also saying that Connor is a carrier, right? We know that. We've compared to fullbacks before. Connor likes to carry the ball, as you can see here. So Connor carries the ball as much as Frimpong, but he passes it better. Touches, Connor has more, but it could be the side he's in. Aerials, Connor is better in the air than Frimpong. But where Frimpong does do better is the attacking side, as we said. He outperforms Connor in all those metrics. So, and that is also to say that Connor at the moment isn't renowned for his blocks. His tackles are not in the highest percentile either. So yeah, he's a slightly different. He's different to Connor. He's about a lot more attacking. Connor is different to Trent, and Connor, who said, profiles very much like Robbo. Yeah, neither of them are as good as Robbo was defensively at his peak. So, yeah, I won't go over old ground, but attacking wise, he definitely could add something to the side. And we love I don't know whether there's release clauses or there's a fee agreed, but if he comes in, he'll add something to the team. And Slot and the data guys have clearly found something in some of the other metrics to go, this is what's hidden. We can do this with him, or we can do that with him, or we can design a system around those flaws. And that's okay. As I said, it's not my money. Attacking wise, he's definitely going to add something to our league. This is going from one league to another, so there will be a slight, movement away in that. It's from Germany to the UK. So if you look on here, German Bundesliga, if I can find it, German 1 to the Premier League converts at 0.84. So those metrics would have to come down by nearly 15%. Okay, so that's just something to consider. I'm not saying that puts you off, but he might then not quite be in the 90th%, in the top end, the 90th percentile.
Yeah.
He might just be in the 90th. So still a good position to be attacking wise.
Yeah.
But I will always say, defensively for me, it's not where I would expect us to profile a player, but they clearly have data we haven't got, and that is absolutely fine. It's their money end of the day.
Well, it's with that in mind I come to this next bit, because now and again on this show, ladies and gents, I like to throw things off Bart that make him a bit nervous when I put questions, and I like to try and pretend I'm the smart one in this duo. So I spoke to an analyst today, Bart, and I'm going to put some questions to you, which I think may help the viewers and they can make their call then of how they see this one. Because we said on the transfer show a little bit earlier, it does seem like Frimpong and Kirkes are still the main names, and literally people are going, is anyone going to defend and think of the kids in this type of situation? But let me have the same conversation a little bit that I had with the analyst. I've even got my notes ready to try and look super smart here, Bart. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
What are the main key 3 attributes that Liverpool are looking for right now in their fullbacks?
I would suggest attacking wise, it's probably to threat creation to add to that to help. It'll be recovery speed to help with if we get turned over, so the transitional stuff. And probably helping the load into being the balance class, helping to be occupy the opposition so we can give Mo more space. Maybe those kind of things are probably some of the areas I would look through for a fullback to be doing.
But you actually match pretty much different terminology, but you match the analyst who said quickness, speed, ultimately, as we'd call it. Final phase contribution, so people will talk about threat or making things happen. XT naturally as well. And power and recovery, as they say, in transitions. This is absolutely key. Now, what the analyst that I spoke to earlier said is actually with these 3 elements, Frimpong and Kirkes offer you these in abundance. And when you talk about Frimpong, he ranks first in the Bundesliga with 1,021 sprints this season. 7th for top speed, 36.34. Look at me looking wicked smart, eh? 3rd for crosses in open play with 94. And 32nd across the entire league for intensive runs. All that's from the Bundesliga website, which, you can flag. You get the physical data as well. What do you say about those stats?
No, I mean, I think there's without doubt they're physical specimens, 100%. Him and Kirkes, for different reasons. I think Kirkes is slightly different build than Frimpong. There's no doubt about that, and he will hit the 3 targets you want. As I said, I've always said that might not. I would still err on someone who shows slightly more defensive ability, but if they're your priorities, they're your physical metrics you do, then you go and do that deal, don't you?
Okay. The second bit I got from the analyst Bart is, I'm sure we've all seen the movie Moneyball, Billy Bean, and know how that works. I think, and the analyst was keen on this. People misquote Moneyball. There's a famous Billy Bean line where he says, he gets on base a lot. Do I care if it's a walk or a hit? Famous line from the movie. It's all about getting on base, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do Frimpong and Kirkes ultimately have in common?
They both provide final third, whatever the term you used, assists, or they make stuff happen in the final third.
Yeah. And in fact, third is the key one, because not just the final third, Kirkes is third for crosses in into the penalty area in the Premier League, and Frimpong is third for crosses in open play in the Bundesliga this season. So as he says, do we care if it's a walk or a run? Okay, it's not baseball, not football, but Kirkes and Frimpong get the ball into the box. Fact. Does that change anything with you at all?
That would signal that's a different pattern of play from how we play, because we don't cross the ball. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking of flying winger to put a ball in the box, that's not what we do. We do a floated pass to the back post. We do a pull back, and we do a ball in behind and a play across. That's a different kind of. I would be interested to see how they define cross.
Well, the analyst did say it's not like a winger to the byline.
Yeah.
Actually has a variety of ways of getting the ball into the box, be it like a cross, a pass, all sorts. As we've seen, does Kirkes, to be fair, in the Premier League. So that's the second thing, sorry. And my third thing, to prove I'm wicked smart from the analyst, both players, as he says, specialise at killing what? From a defensive element.
Killing counter-attacks.
Transitions and counter-attacks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Two of those profile super high on, that's my language, by the way, because an analyst won't be stupid enough to use phrases like that, but profile well in that regard. Does that come into it for you at all?
Oh, 100%. 100%. But there is going to be a point where they're actually going to have to do some defending.
I'll tell you what, he's a hard taskmaster tonight, isn't he, ladies and gents? I'm bringing info, I'm bringing analysts, I'm bringing professionals, and the one named the doctor is shooting stuff down. But I've got to be honest on this, people, because we have looked at Frimpong with a lot of requests from you as well. We have analysed him in depth. Now is the time where it either happens or it doesn't a little bit, doesn't it? So we'll see what builds.
Yeah, and ultimately, the analysts have got their view, and that's the profile of the player they're looking for. If they've found a player to match that profile, that's their job, right? I haven't got that brief from Slot and the club, right? My brief would be slightly different because I'm probably a bit old school. But if those are the three metrics that the analysts have been told to go and find, then they've found the best two players to do that. That'll be interesting because it will require a different way of playing for us as a team.
Yeah, and it might also be a case of worry about the defending a bit later. But if you can kill it in transition, as the analyst also says, that is where a lot of the top teams suffer, don't they? Because they attack a lot. It's transition where they'll normally get hurt that way.
Yeah,